Okay, welcome to the deep dive.
Good to be here.
Today we're jumping into, well, quite a heated situation actually in the anime world. We're looking at the fan backlash against the new adaptation of The Beginning After the End.
That's right. And we're using an article from Hypermanga as our guide here, trying to understand why fans seem so unhappy with this show right out of the gate.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission really is to unpack that hypermanga piece, figure out what's behind all this negativity for what was, a pretty anticipated series. Let's get into it.
Okay, so The Beginning After the End, or TBATE as fans call it, it's already huge. Web novel, comic, turtle knees work.
Right. Known for great storytelling, characters, and the fights, right? The action.
Absolutely. The action sequences are a big draw, so expectations for the anime, through the roof. People really wanted to see those fights brought to life.
And the hypermanga article mentions that episode 1. It landed, well, okay, not amazing, not terrible.
Yeah, lukewarm is probably the right word. It didn't exactly set the world on fire.
But then came episode 2, The King Under Attack.
And that, according to the source, is where the real trouble started. That episode seems to be the flashpoint for all the criticism.
So what was the core issue, according to hypermanga? What really set people off?
Overwhelmingly, it seems to be the animation quality. Specifically, the article talks about disappointment with the action scenes in that second episode.
How bad are we talking?
Well, fans online, and the article picks up on this, used words like stiff, lacking fluidity. Someone even joked it looked like a slideshow.
Ooh, a slideshow. That's brutal for an action anime, especially one based on a comic known for dynamic visuals.
Exactly. It's not just any show. It's adapting something where the combat is a key part of the appeal, so when that misses the mark, the reaction gets intense.
And it sounds like it did get intense, fast. The article mentions social media lighting up.
Oh, yeah. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube comment sections. The usual hubs, lots of frustration being voiced very openly.
Just comments, or did it go further?
It definitely went further. That's where the petition comes into play.
Ah, right. The Change.org petition?
Yep. Titled, Demand the Cancellation and Redo of the TBATE Anime Adaptation.
Wow. Cancellation and redo. That's quite a statement. What was the reasoning given by the creator?
The hypermanga piece says the petitioner called the anime disrespectful and even a smear on Turtle Me's original work.
Strong words. And did it get much traction?
It did. The article notes it had already passed, I think, 11,000 signatures when they reported.
Brah.
That's a significant number showing real dissatisfaction.
Over 11,000. Yeah, that's definitely more than just a few disgruntled viewers.
Yeah.
But hypermanga also mentioned there's a debate around this, right? Like, is the hate justified?
Exactly. It's not totally one-sided, but the article suggests the dominant feeling among critics is that fans just expected better. They're looking at other recent shows.
Like Solo Leveling, maybe Zenshu?
Precisely those kinds of examples.
Yeah.
The argument is basically, we know good-looking action anime is possible. Why isn't TB meeting that standard?
So it's about perceived industry standards, almost. What fans feel should be achievable now.
Kind of, yeah. And there's a real concern highlighted in the article about future episodes. If the animation is like this now, what happens when the really big, complex fights happen later in the story?
A valid worry. Does the source offer any glimmer of hope? Any counter-arguments?
It does mention some fans are, holding out hope. Maybe it's early budget issues or scheduling kinks that could get worked out.
The classic, maybe it'll get better hope.
Right, that maybe the quality could ramp up later in the season. It's possible, but the initial impression has clearly been damaging for many.
Yeah. And this whole thing, it really highlights just how vital the visuals are, doesn't it? Especially when adapting something that's already visual, like a comic, and known for its action.
Absolutely. For a lot of these fans, the H.Y. Pimmer article implies their connection is to the look of the comic, too. Yeah. So when the anime doesn't match that mental image or match up to other slick productions, that disconnect feels huge.
It's a massive pressure on the studios, I guess. Especially now, with fans being so connected and, well, vocal.
No kidding. So, wrapping up what we found in the H.Y. Hypermanga piece, popular story, TBA gets an anime. Episode 2 hits. Animation quality is heavily criticized, especially action scenes.
Right. Leads to widespread online anger, a petition with over 11,000 signatures demanding cancellation, and a redo calling it disrespectful.
Then there's the debate. Is it fair? Comparisons to shows like Solo Leveling, worries about future episodes, and that little bit of hope it might improve.
So we've sort of explored the why behind the backlash based on our source, and it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? How much does that visual execution, the animation quality, actually impact your connection to a story you already care about?
And maybe also, what power do these fan campaigns, these petitions actually have? Can they really change the course of an anime's production? Something to chew on.
Definitely. Food for thought until our next deep dive.